Welcome, welcome. For the very few who have come around, for my inconsistency on sales of the true value of the truth inside the hidden secret in creation. I am so full. Every time I find something, I have an answer. But every time I get an answer, that answer is the new beginning to my next question. All of a sudden, the pieces in the puzzle are starting to piece together faster and faster. I have about 4 or 5 different kinds of telephone codes I can use, angles that when you see one word to the next, the total spaces and dots in between, the commas above, the exclamation points. The point of all, the reason for the chicken getting up at 5 a.m. and crowing, why the moon is on top of the church and sitting at that angle, why that spear is through the moon, why the golden eggs of Christmas and the 12 days of Christmas, why Christ, why the cross. Does the cross have a number? It most definitely does. Although I'm not finished completing the cross, I ripped out another page. I just want to show you where I got to with the cross. Okay, what you have to do is you have to make the cross. Okay, now everybody knows everything is a dot. A dot can go inside a circle perfectly, but inside a square, if you're stretching out to the angles, you don't need the circle, because the circle will cut the edges off your angles. God must trap the 4 angles without anything touching him. So the circle comes inside. And each corner, and there are 4 for a one face, comes in and creates something else. God throws out nothing. He figures out which each piece he has, how he can use every single cut. Because when you can use every single cut and discard nothing, except to put it back in the box, then you save it to bring man across the borders one more time. For into the life he goes, we cut the corners. When he comes home, and they cut the tie on the Jewish holidays. The reason for the cough, because it is the one spirit of the 7th gate. That's the reason for that's what it is. It comes from within the center of both sides. How many things do you actually have that come out of center? Your mouth, you are split between 2. Your ass, you're split between 2. Your ears are on each side. So therefore, you got the soul and the complete spirit ear, but that doesn't matter. It gets taken for with what your brain does with the ears. The same with your eyes. And isn't it funny the way your eyes can go to the back of your head where that pineal gland is, but the direction for your ears to go to the pineal gland is so much different? The reason for your nose growing is because once you're a living spirit, it never stops. It grows and it grows and it grows. I mean, when did trees stop growing? They never stop growing. They're constantly growing. The tree. Oh, how many for supper? Tree. How many? Tree. We come at 2 o'clock. 2 tree. Oh, 6. Oh, no, I'm not sick. That's why I come at 6. Not feeling well from your food. Anybody else feeling well? Well, what? Is she nice looking, Belle? Did she come from hell? Hold on a second. That's just the letter L. Don't you know the L and N-O are very special? And why the letters on each letter are where they are, and why on just a regular telephone or any telephone, just ask me and I'll explain to you every single reason why each letter where it is. Just to start off, is okay, to remind you of everything, the fish jumps out of the lake. Over the part it jumps out, it doesn't touch that part, but that area is still there. It's an in-between. It's even to both sides. But it means something different, because on one side of the heaven 8, it came out of the lake. And onto the other side of the 8, it came into the lake. And that 8 is perfect. You know why? Because the only time it counts the start and counts the end is when it touches both sides. Whatever it touches is not actually the 8, but the closing of the 8 with the 2 sides of the fish. What leads the ripples into 2 sides of the fish. What are we going to get back to? Maybe I'm going to get back to the cross for a second. I'm not finished totaling this out. Here is 2 points. One on the left, one on the right. Do we jump over in this situation? Now let's take a look at the fact. The point is right here. And anytime there's a point in the center, it's always 5. Always 5. Because what actually happens, okay, is, let's say it's on this, right? You see my pen? And see this here? Okay? When I do it, all it does is come up here. But this pen has never moved. This pen has never moved, but this has moved. So the equation is different. Okay? Now over here, it's wide. So over here, it's going to count 1 and 3. Always 1 and 3 are 7 and 9. And that's the reason there's an extra letter on 7 on the digital phones and the 9, because the 1 only comes once. After that, it comes with a partner. 1 0, 1 9. Yeah, 1 and 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. So 1 and 0 is a partner. And 28 and 2 plus 8 is 10. The 8 is the partner of 2. So what we actually do, okay, I'm going to try and show you. Is this. This one, this line doesn't move. They both have the same numbers. 70, 79, 79, 97. Why? Because this one's pointing down. It has to go this way. So the numbers will be on the opposite side. So here you'll get 79 and here you'll get 79. They both say September. 9th month, scepter of God. Why is it the scepter of God? Because this position doesn't move. The center of this position, which is beta, is because God travels back and forth. And the center of this would be 2. This should be 8. This over here is 2. And when it flips over back on the inside, it's 5. I'm sorry, there's 2, 5, and 8 in the center, just like on your telephone, but you skip from here into here, so all this space is lost, and this you flip over into here. And now you got your 3 spaces, but there's one more flip, okay? This is an 8, a 5, but 1 and 3 will always have 2 in the center, all the time. 7 and 9 will always have 8 in the center, and when you flip it, you haven't flipped anything. You're just, here again, 8 over here. This 8 flips over 2 and finishes into 5. If it went from 2 to 5, do you understand what I'm saying? Here's 2, here's 8, here's 5. This flips over here into 5. Okay, here is 2, here is 5. Now what is the average in the center now? Well, if here is 2 and here is 5, 2 plus 1.5 is 3.5. 5 plus minus 1.5 is 3.5, and that equals to 8. And that's the original number we started at up here. You get the average, it ends up to be 8. And 8 is the space in the center. So let me light a cigarette for a second. So anyways, let me mark it down so you can understand it. Maybe 8, 2, 8, 2, 5, 8. Let me see this. Flips over to here. This one becomes a 5. This one flips down here. 5, 2, 5. This one flips down here. And this becomes, this stays an 8. And this becomes a 2. 8, 2, 5, 8, 2. This is 88. This, if you notice, when it comes to the center, you now have an X. 5 up and 5 down. 5,000 in Roman numerals, 5,000, 10,000 souls are on the line, both sides. Here's your 5. 5 times the total of the extremities of the average, and you get 50. If you add them together, this point over here acts as 5 times 2, 5 times 8, 5 plus 8, 5 plus 2. This one over here equals 17, equaling to 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 5 by 8 is 40. Excuse me, let me finish it off. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 plus 8 is 13, and we have 53 again, the same answer as before. And that's 52 cards in the deck, and the one red joker is 53. If you add in both jokers, well, now you have 55, because the other joker's worth 2 points. She's black. Black's worth 2, red's worth 1. White is in between. So now you have how the jump. So on your telephone, it's the same thing. Okay. Here's number 8. On the outside will be a 7 and a 9. This one in roulette would be 25, and this one would be 27. The last 8 in roulette finishes at 35. And that's an expression, like I said, number 35 black, 53, 52 cards, and a joker. 1 week's vacation. But in reality, okay, when you're counting it, at one joker and one joker, we're just counting the card now, and that's not the face, and we end up with 52 plus 2, which means love, 27 each. 8 to Y, 8 to Y. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. 23 and 8 and 25, 23, 48, 56, and 58. This is the reason why. Man and heaven. W-H-Y, man and heaven. And this is the Y, okay? One leg missing on this Y. But I want to tell you something about Y, okay? What's so good about Y? Is because when they say sometimes Y, okay, and this is the Aleph, when they say sometimes Y, this is the 25 Y of the 7th gate. But this Y is in between Z and A, and it's the 27th. So 2 and 7 is 9, and 7 and 9 each have an extra letter. This one is for man, because as a spade king, he has only one leg. Hooked up to the rest of man's body, he gets the second leg. Don't forget the potato race where they run with the legs together, and here you have your 11. Just by designing your 2 Ys, and this totals 52, you now have 11, 52. Or actually to equal to 63, and then again, that would be creation of man. So let's go back to the cross for a second. I wasn't going to do it in this video because I don't like the stuff. So now we know these 2 points are spread open. It's either 7 or 9 or 1 and 3. It can't be anything else. That's the delta of God. Delta in Greek. He's got 4 angles. These are his 4 angles. A, C, G, and I. Now, his beta angles, okay, are B2, okay, D4, F6, H8, plus he has to go in the center. That makes 5 inside beta, and 5, because he has to go inside his own world, makes 10, and then man goes in, makes 15, and the angle gets included, makes 20, and you add the spirit, makes it 25, because all the dots are the same. All the dots are the same. They all have a 5 value because they make up for what's not in between. They connect to the next connect, and they will become the average. It'll always average out because it all works in triangles. One great thing about the 3-sided pyramid is that when it moves, right, it folds this way, then it folds this way, then it folds this way, and it folds this way. So when you see the shark teeth or the W, it's because it's the movement of the creation of the triangles and diamonds, and it's bigger. My squares are different with this. It has to be done differently. The letters have to be put inside a box. Inside a box. See, you have to use the whole box for the letter. Okay, so you use the whole box for the letter. And this is your $10,000 pyramid you have. Okay, now this letter is no good. You know why? Because look, it went in between. This is not a good box. This thing dot here has to go on the line, because if it goes on a line, it's going to intercept something else on any angle around that line having to do with 45 degrees and less. 45 degrees and less, and I think as small as 5.125 degrees. And the reason for the 5.125 degrees is you can't cut in to the center letter. There's certain numbers you can't cut in. In corners, yes. When you create the octagon and cut off a corner, there's an empty space. Yes, you can pass there. Anyways, let's get back to the cross. I was doing two things before. I was doing it here, and then I decide to, hey, where'd it go? Wrong page. Wrong page. Hey, page. Ah, here it is. So we have this over here. Let's imagine this is 7 and 9, or 7, 8, 9. Then the point over here, if this was 7, 8, 9, this would be 2 over here. And if that would be 2 over here, this flips over into this point, and this point over here would then be 5. You see in the middle of the X? And then it would flip over to here, and then it would flip over here. Now you have your cross. And I'm not finished this. And why do I have feet on it? Because it always has to stand up on something. Otherwise, it'll tip over. It's got to hold up this. I know there's a lot of things. Anyways, let me get off it. The word 8, 49 letter count. 7 by 7 is 49, plus the 8 itself equals to 3 by 19, 57, 3 times the spirit 8. Because we jump over 8, 16, and 24. After that, it's 32. We do not jump over the 8 anymore. At 32, the jump equals to, where is it? To 9. 3 and 2 is 5, and 9. In the octagon, there's 9 lives of the dog or the cat, and the position in center is 5, 9 months. That is the birth. Okay, so we have over, how come it always goes away and upside down? I never end up finding it. La 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 la, here it is. Now, okay, what we're going to do is, the reason I came up with 49, okay, is because of the corners. 4 and 9, oh my God. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm lost. You have that answer. Anyways, if I take 49 and double it, because the heaven had to be one flip this way and one flip this way, but if it's an envelope, okay, it's one flip this way, one flip this way, right? This flip is not the same as this flip. So you're putting 1 and 1 world together, and then half a world, and then the other half of the world. And now we have the square dice to start playing. You have to bend over the longest parts first, because Mercury and Pluto are at both ends with Earth and Uranus. Okay, and we're inside of that. Guaranteed we're inside of that. I cannot see that we are actually on Earth. Somehow, maybe, like I said, 8 is an empty space. Neptune is a planet in reference to it. So somehow, how is there a chance there's a reflection camera of some sort that goes from Neptune over to Jupiter and into Saturn, crossing over birth, Pluto's half-cut planet that crosses over and is put into Mars. The planet just above it would be Saturn. So I'd only see us be between the triangle of Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Neptune. And we would be in between there, floating around somewhere in space. We're not sitting still like all the other planets. I don't think our movement is the same. Something's weird. Something's really weird. Anyways, another thing is that also, when you start and you skip over the alphabet, there's another way to look at it. You can also use Y-O-N, because Alpha Omega can also be Omega Alpha. The same thing as flipping over. Okay, so you say a Z-Y-O-N, and then you put Z-Y-N-O, okay, that's right, Z-Y-N-O-A. And what happens, okay, is when you connect Z-Y-O, okay, here I did Z-Y-O-A, and to connect the lines, you always get to connect lines. This is the A spirit. It's got a line in the center, so you can continue that line all the way through, turning your O omega into an 8. While you pass the lines on top and on the bottom, just the way the paper are, this A next to one line of O turns into the letter F, because the slant shortens the center stick. O and F means off and on, because N-O is no or on. O-F is off. And this answer would say 3.1416. Because if you would take this y, that takes away nothing from this letter except touches it in the top left-hand corner over here. By it touching the letter over here, this automatically can change to the C, letter C, and it would say C78178. C1, they talk to each other. Like, let's say you have a word, giant. So you listen to the G, and the G has an E. So now you write the word is G-E. I, you put an I, or just put a dot, because the I is suspicious. So the I or the line, I'm not quite sure. It seems like when you do this, you're actually in the center of the 258 key of your telephone. Okay, giant. And then you have NT. You see, what you'd have to, see, I'm starting to do the letter. First of all, one part to do it is A to D. It's only one world. A to E, including the connection world. A to I. So you do A to F, because that's 6 on a dice. Then you do A to I, because when you put 2 dice together, the separation in the center, you holding in your hands, is the 1, 2, 3 spirit go. Either the answer is going to be 1 or the answer is going to be 2. But the totality of the answer is 3, and that's the creation of the first 2 dice, whatever they land on. Anyways, you have these letters here, and this turns into CF, if you want to look at it that way. C, N. Can you see the way the N, where's the letter? Oh, I hate getting lost. I hate getting lost. There's just so many things, too many things. Anyways, I didn't come on to do a big connection, but I will show you one thing. I just like to just show off what I have. You see, here's the number 3, here's the number 2. The number 2 is drawn so close to it, it looks like 36. So if you lift it up this way, it's drawn so close to it, it looks like 1, 3, 4. The A backwards. You know the A backwards, the thing on it? Because God works from 2 positions. So when he's got the round on it, he's in the circle world of the octagon. Anyways, Raphael 7286 on the constellation of Pegasus. I don't know what I got through right now. Oh, look at this. Here's the tie, and here's the design of the triangles flipping over. And this is the diamond center. You'll find this, I think, on the card, the King of Spades. And what this actually is it's 1 square here, and then it's just 1 square down here. And then all I did to the 2 squares is added a center. We had to show a protrusion, okay, because the square that's going in the center will connect to one, There'll be 4. Okay, you see this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here. That's God, 1, 3, 7, 9. Beta will be the point that's over here, the point that's over here, the point that's over here, and the point that's over there. Actually, she just gets to take care of these 2, and this one gets to take care of these 2. This is the spirit world, heaven. This is the beta world, okay, which is the earth, the trees, the plants, Mother Nature, and that basic stuff. It's the universe put together in a pie and created for you and me. I guess we can let it go for now. Still working on this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is either counted this way or this way. It depends if it's used in this world or in this world. There's 3 factions in here. 1, which is worked by 2, and 6 man, which is over here, 2, 6, 2, 6. So we would have to, I didn't finish the design yet. You can see that there's going to be a Magen David. Why? Because not only do the Magen Davids fall, but every time you see one of this, you can put a triangle. Put a triangle. You don't see it here, you see it here, you can put a triangle. You see it here, you put a triangle. Because the triangles have to fit over each other and flop. They flip and they flop. And they flip and they flop. If you ask me a question how much I know and how much I believe that I can take the entire alphabet, and there's so many ways to code them, I just don't know. You can code them in 6s because we do that in dice. You can code them in 9s because you do that in dice. We can code them in dozens because we do that in dice. But why would we do it anymore? We can code them by 18, because that's what you have in roulette. You can code them by the deck of cards. But all in all, when you get to the breakdown, there are some codes that are just going to go away because they're in between other ones and serves no purpose. When you're explaining the outside of the building, when you know the center, you know the size on the outside of the building, right? You know where the center is on the inside of the building. So if you're on the inside of the building, you got to stretch out to find out what your angles are for the outside of the building on the corners, yet you lose space because the walls between the inside and the outside, regardless how much space you lose, they can only go up to each other like this. They can't, or they can push through each other. God locks worlds like this. Stand on guard for me. Not locked, locked. All you do is see your pen? It stops me from going back. So it's locked in the X. So where was I with that, with the locked worlds? Oh, we were talking about 5 a.m. You know what? Can I get back to 5 a.m.? Do you mind me getting back to 5 a.m.? Where is this thing about 5 a.m.? Where's my book? Oh, it fell on the floor. So I want to get back to 5 a.m. So anyways, 5 a.m. can actually say spirit, angel, and man, or Sam. How about talking about this? From A to M. N-O. You see on the telephone, it's ABC, DEF, GHI, JKL, MNO, moon, MNO, moon. From A to moon. 2 times M. 2 times 26. A plus 0. What this is 2,000 years. A, 2 times M is 1,000 years in Roman numerals. So you have 2,000 years right here. A to M is actually D, because the one spirit either works from the 2-hole or he's in the 4-hole. The A is the spirit. God's in this position, work in this world here, the heavens, and in this world by the connecting corners. He controls this corner. So this A would be a D in creation, which would be 4. And you only can go A, B, C, D in the first level. 4 automatically to M means 4,000. 4,000 and 2,000 is 6,000 years of man. We're missing a few years. We have to go backwards 225 years, but that's easy because I'm just going to touch you real quick. You got to go around once, okay? When you go around the world once, 360 degrees, you go around the sun 360 degrees, you went around once. And by going around once, the time it takes is this. Whoop. That's the answer. You want to know why? I'm going to show you why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is the XO. X and O stand together as 10 and 10 for the X, okay, and 15 for the O, the letter. So let's use both letters. It totals 39 plus 6 man, because man is like the dice got 6 sides. We place 3 here and 3 here. Our total is 45. 45 by 5, 225. 25, 25. Why 25? Because when you make this X, crosses the center once, cross the center twice. 5 is in the center once, 5 is in the center twice. The value there of the line on an angle takes 0.25 of extra line to get there. Okay, that's why you get to 0.25. Now you're doing this once through here and once through here to here. You also do it this way and this way, but they're going straight across. So we're going to lose 0.25, 0.25, 0.25 because of this way, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25 because of this way. These are all even. Okay, the total of each space is worth 0.25 or 25 cents or a quarter. Okay, 2 and 5 is 7. 1 6 world, 4 3 world, 2 5 world, 7. The underworld is 9 4 13, 8 5 13, 7 6 13. Okay, so the total here is 225, or life of 5, 110. Okay, anyways, 110 is the 10% of the one mind. Okay, now we go over here, 1.25 for the top, 1 for the bottom, plus the 0.25 here. Why the 0.25? Because we have to go through it this way and through it this way, and we have to share and share. So the values split. So the total of this is 225 years. Now we need a connecting line to the next tic-tac-toe board. Add 1 year. Okay, for that. So this is 225 years minus, because it's already been added, and we're only at 5775 in 2 years in the Hebrew calendar, it would make it the year 6000, but it has to be 6001 for that connecting year. So, because my number 7286 broken down at the end, there's also missing 1, and there's many reasons for it, but when you say 226 and 225, you're expressing the spirit value that 6 is. 6 is man with the spirit, but as just a man, he's only 5. He's no better than you and no less than the other. The only thing that's almost the same in this world is all of us at birth. Why? Because the only expression you have to use is we came into the world. And at what year did he come into the world? They never say to the woman, "Oh, day, did it come out of you? Did you have that baby yet? Did it come out the big hole? What was the day that the baby arrived? Oh, I'm having a baby. Oh, you are? Did someone call you? Who called you? They sent you a note. So you went to the bathroom and you tested. You said, look at that. It's a baby, Dot. How so far in advance do we know the strength and energy of the Christ that comes from far and beyond is unbeatable. It's insane. It's just insane. We were working on Sam, okay, and I'm going to go back to it. It also says A to M. In French, it would say A to M is a way to love, because M in French means love. 5 a.m. can also mean 1, and this the 13th letter is a 4. That would be Montreal, Canada. Sam, M4, M13, its value, stop on 17, the one spirit of the 7th heaven, the 7th gate. Then we go down to sticks. We take 4 sticks that are normal standing sticks in the beta world connecting north and south, and we draw 1 stick across, and that's the Spirit of God. Connecting, making it a total of 5, and that's the value of 5. Then God said, I can't just go by 1 alone. So he creates 4 sticks. And then he plays again and he makes 4 more sticks. Now he connects again. He connects from number 5, number 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait a second, that's not possible, because now 1 has become in the center. Even though you have 4 sticks, an automatic stick has to be elected to come into the center between both sides to make each side even to the stick that's in the center. But instead of putting in then the 6, okay, just like I said, you move them to the center. So whatever the value is there, and whatever the value is there, you grab the average and you got the value. The only time you really can't grab a value is when you're going to an upper or lower level. 258. If you live between 2 and 5, you're living at 3.5. This is 15. Okay, so this equals 68. Means that 8 heaven a man. 8 and 2 is 10, which is 1 of the world, but it'll only equal to a creation because you didn't add in this 5, it's spirit. 2 and 8 is 10. 63, 3 creation, 6 man. So anyways, we're back to the sticks again. We played 4 games of tic-tac-toe of 1 winner each, and it creates this, the all-seeing eye. You see the way I connected the sticks together? These are the guards. There's going to be, okay, and I'm going to do it according to numbers already used by others. Numbers used by others. So now you have 3 and 3. Man 6. But he's inside the 7th gate now. This turns into a Magen David. But if you look at the end here, and you look at the end here, you're going to ask me, what is that end? Well, X's can do this. Okay, so that we're always balancing all the time. Once the X's are able to do that, this beak over here will close. This beak over here will close. It'll go shh, and then open, and close, and open, almost like it's eating food. Then these X's, 3 and 3, we need 2 down here, and we need 2 up here. 3, 6, 8, 10. And then we need 1 here in the center, 1 here in the center, 11 and 12. Now we can go bowling because we have 12 ways to get a strike. And I can't make it any different. If I made it less, or I would be out of the lines. If I made it more, everything would just be more. It has to be the way it is. Doesn't matter how big you're gonna do it. If 1, okay, is next to 2, 1 is going to be next to 2 forever, because 1 and 2 hold hands all the time. They have to. You need to hold hands with 3. God can't stretch out the 3 on his own. He has to jump over 2 and create the 2 so that there's a value to sit in number 2. 2 and 4. Beta and spirit. Oh my God, my TV went away. So anyways, once you count all these games, it's 5, 10, 15, 20. Now you have 20 for the beta world, plus the center, and the center ends up to be the 7th gate inside the Mug and Dovey, the 5 hole inside the octagon, the between space 53 inside the pentagram, always 0.5 center. So what happens now is I can't exactly show, but this will be the Mug and Dovey. This will also turn into the hexagon. There's also a pentagram in here that can fit in here. But there's this point here, 1 spot here, 1 spot here, 1 spot here, 1 spot here. But we have to live this way. This is the way it lives. This is our passage right here, 11. This is our passage. We come up. These are the elements that come up. These are the elements that come down. They cross over. They cross over. How did they cross over? I think they cross over this way. Not sure. Hold on a second. Let me finish this. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. And there. Now I can give you a value. This dot here is 2. This point over here is 4. This point over here is 6. This point over here is 8. So this is where man is. 4, 5, 6. 5, if you ever take a look in the deck of cards, the ace is in the dead center 5 hole. Now are they talking exactly about the spirit card? Because there's 91 cards, and that ace is one of every spirit. So man also has to have his value dead center. In life, he's spread out. Then he's dead center. Do you follow me? Dead in the center. Anyways, that's it. That's it. 9 lives of the cat. 9 times 25, 225. The first time God ever tried to do anything in his first 25 years, to 5 and 2, 7, he couldn't do it. He didn't have the 7th gate. Only until the first number closed here at 25 and 52, it creates the 7th gate. So this one doesn't count for anything but an exclamation point, and we're always jumping over 8, because 1 to 9 and 3 to 7 take over the actual position of this, because we're actually working on the underworld, connected by the overworld, beta. Okay, this system here is 7 and 9 and goes over 8. Okay, one of the reasons for September and August, these 2 number spaces over here. Anyways, beta world 1, 2, 3 runs from down here, because she runs 1 because she gives the birth to the 1 spirit run by beta. 3 creation, if you just connect these together, right? They all create 7s at the end. Okay, I think I put you through enough. I finished on Sam, the 2000. I'm not finishing on my work, but M is in the letter haven of 2. It is the 3rd letter. J, K, L, M. M is the 4th letter of the 2nd level. 13th letter in normality. 4th letter in the 2nd level. Like I told you, 13th letter altogether, and it still adds up to this. Then what would we have next? M. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. M, as a mathematical equation, comes out to 7. If you add 7 to 24, to 7 to 17, it's 24. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6, which is heaven and man. And if you add them together, it creates the passage. That's why you have LMNOP on your telephone, the way that works. The S is an added letter, but it's not. The S is the one spirit of 9, so it must go in the first row. The S letter that goes with the number 7 is the 19th letter. 1 spirit of 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Goes in the first row. But the Z, okay, that is in the last row, okay, that ends on Z, is the 8th letter. 2 and 6 is 8. So now we have a formality that we have to run in for. It's on the 9th key. Well, first to tell you that it is a jump letter. We jump the 8th letter over the 8 so we can get it into the 9, because we have to bring an 8 heaven into that 9 for the 9 birth, otherwise we can't do it. And that, my friends, on your roulette wheel would be 25, 26, 27. That would do that jump. It happens 3 times. Okay, 1, and then there's 19, and there's 10, and there's 28, and there's 37. The last jump of 37 is 5, right into the 5 hole. So you need one more jump to jump over. It's 46. And now man has jumped over 5, and 4 has jumped over 6. 4 angels, 6 man in the 5th position of the letter W creation. Thank you.